Good day, Prestonians. Welcome to today's class. We're still on homeostasis. We're going to be looking at the skin in today's lesson. And let's have our objectives stated out. At the end of the lesson, I will expect you to be able to describe the regulation of temperature by the skin, to be able to explain the process of negative feedback on temperature control, and to be able to highlight the functions, various functions of the skin. Regulation of body temperature by the skin. Now, we're going to be talking on hot days and cold days. Now, on hot days, first thing there is the vasodilation. Now, to explain this, on our skin, when the sun is very hot or when the weather is very hot, we notice that our skin hairs, that's the hair on the skin, we've talked about it in the last class, they will lie flat on the skin. That is because the capillaries near the skin surface dilate, while the ones in the dermal layer, that's the inner layer, constrict, causing large volume of blood to come to the skin surface. And by this, it is lost through conduction, convection, and radiation from the skin. So that's vasodilation. Then we have the sweating. On hot days, you all agree with me that we sweat a lot on hot days. The sweat glands become very erect, become very active. Let me put it that way. They become very active and produce lots of sweat from the skin pores. Then there will be decrease in metabolic rates. You will not want to stress yourself because you know the more you stress yourself, the more heat you produce. Then the air will be lowered. That's what I already explained in vasodilation. The hairs on your skin will be lowered on the skin surface because of the sweat produced. Then behavioral changes. You notice that people will prefer to wear spaghetti, wear clothes that would allow air to come in because of the hotness of the area. We have other behavioral changes that you can also add to mind. Now let's talk about regulation of body temperature by the skin on cold days. The same point but different explanation. Now, vasoconstriction. Now, the capillaries near the skin surface would contract or constrict, while the one in the inner part would dilate. So when it dilates, it allows little blood to flow to the skin surface. Hence, it conserves heat. Heat is not lost because this is a cold day. Now, the sweat glands, for the sweating, the sweat glands would not be as active as it were in the hot days. It produces little or no sweat. Then there will be increase in metabolic rate so as to cushion the effect of the cold. Some people, you see them running in the morning when the weather is very cold in order to cushion the effect of the cold. Then raising of hair. Some people will call it goose pimples, There will be raised, the hairs on our skins will be raised. And some of us will be experiencing goose pimples whenever we are cold. Then behavioral changes will be that we will wear our jackets, our blankets, our pullovers in order to conserve heat. Now, this is a picture of a goose pimple. I don't know, can you help me focus it? This is a picture of a goose pimple on the skin. You'll notice that the hairs are rising and you'll see some spots on the person's hand. This is the arm on the person's skin. Thank you. Now, let's talk about negative feedback on temperature control. This is very simple, just as I've explained. Now, negative feedback is a system of control that regulates temperature on the skin. And this is made possible by the thermoregulatory center in the hypothalamus of our brains, okay? Now, this center will be able to detect when blood is passing through. Then, it also detects whether there is rise in temperature or there is a fall in temperature. When there is rise in temperature, this center will send impulses to the skin, which results to vasodilation and sweating because the weather is hot, rise in temperature. And when there is fall in temperature, that's when it is cold, it also sends impulses to the skin, which will result to vasoconstriction and less sweating. That there will be no sweating and there will be vasoconstriction. So this is just vice versa, when there is rise in temperature and when there is fall in temperature. This is what we mean by negative feedback. Now, functions of the skin. We'll be discussing this in our Google Classrooms. Now we have for protection, of course you can see the skin all over your body for protection. We have excretion, it sends out sweat. Production of milk, that's the mammary gland, the breast, helps to produce milk. Then storage of fats and regulation of body temperature, which I've explained before. With this, I've come to the end of my class. I'll be meeting with you all in the Google Classroom to submit your tasks, starter activity, send in your questions if you have any, and we'll meet there. Have a nice day. Bye.